Hello Red Buddies. Tonight I'm going to show you MQ2EQWire, a new plugin for Red Guides and a must-have for multiboxers. It only does one thing, turns off EQ's draw call when it's in the background, but that gives you two benefits. Number one, a reduction in CPU and GPU usage, even when used with FPS limiters. And number two, unlike those FPS limiters, in-game performance and reaction times are not affected. And to understand this, you have to understand that the in-game FPS limiters, as well as MQ2FPS, they add a sleep to the main loop, which lowers CPU, but it also lowers performance. So your background characters can react slower, or they'll get stuck when following or using stick, and they'll be a bit slower on assisting. I know lots of users who use both the in-game FPS limiter and MQ2FPS, which we really don't recommend. MQ2EQWire doesn't have this problem. All it does is turns off the draw call, so it can be used by itself for maximum performance or used with one of the FPS limiters for a great reduction in CPU and GPU usage, which will keep your computer running cooler. Here's an example of EQWire used in conjunction with the in-game FPS limiter. So here's my in-game FPS limiter. I'll show you right here. I got maximum frames per second in the foreground. In the background, I'm running minimum. And here's my performance with those settings. As you can see, for CPU, we're doing about between 4 to 6%, almost up to 7 there. And GPU, it's running, 3 to 4%. Now let's see what happens when we turn EQWire on. Alright, EQWire is now on it. As you can see, there's no configuration, no settings with EQWire. It just simply works. And there's a little message here that it's now in back, so it knows when it's in the foreground, now in front, and the background, now in back. So let's see the usage that we're at now. CPU, we're running a bit lower. We got down to 2% for each, between 2 to 3, and GPU it's like almost a background process at this point. It's well into 2% for most of them. There's 1%. I've seen it dip to like 0.8, but that's a great reduction. And let me show you now what it's like performance-wise. I'll go ahead and pull right here. And I'm running Kiss Assist manual mode. So I'll start meleeing right away. Or Kiss Assist will, rather. And the rest of the group is all doing really well. You can see the reaction times are great. Heals are coming in. The tank got on that mob very quickly. It's looking good. And here, you can see the graphics right here. Nothing's been updated until I click foreground. And that's MQ2EQWire. If you multi-box, you should probably get it. Alright, catch you later guys. Bye-bye.